Well, Coinbase is a huge name among crypto exchanges, but when it comes to going for an IPO last April, well, it went old school, choosing to list on the NASDAQ. But its stock price took a dive in January this year, and it remains below its IPO reference price of $250. So, what went wrong? Was it the decision to list on a traditional stock exchange rather than on a digital exchange maybe, or even on its own exchange? And who better to ask than someone with a passion to tokenize the world? Henry Chong, CEO of Fusang. Fusang aims to reshape investment markets with blockchain technology. And Henry, it's always great to have you, but this is a conundrum with Coinbase.
Yes, always great to be here, Angie. And I think it's interesting that you talk about Coinbase because I think they listed in the wrong place. Coinbase's mission has always been to make it as easy as possible to buy Bitcoin. And they've got tens of millions of users who come use their app mobile, and they want to interact with digital assets, blockchain-based tokens. And that's why the company's worth so many billions in the first place. That's why everyone was so excited about finally being able to actually invest into the company. But then they listed on NASDAQ, a very traditional exchange, where they not only had paper shares pop out the other end, but you have to go and open a traditional brokerage account to go buy those shares, and you can't do it through Coinbase. And I think that's just a very jarring customer experience. On the flip side, if Coinbase could have opened up their shares, their tokens, either directly to their own user base or maybe through exchanges like Fusang, and allowed their own user base to not only buy those tokens directly, but buy it in a digital format with blockchain-based tokens, I think they would be worth double.
You know, it really is the platform these days. In the 21st century, the platform is your audience. And that really kind of ties into the valuation models in traditional capital markets that really relies on historical earnings as well. The digital marketplace is dependent on future valuations, not even the future expectation of what those value of those shares are. Do you think that this is creating something of a mismatch in capital allocation when it comes to this?
I think that the real issue is that, well, crypto markets, ICOs, utility tokens, they have been forced to find what I call alternative value drivers. They can't point to some kind of underlying equity value or value from being a real security. So the only value that they can create is by capturing a network effect, by capturing the value of a platform, as you say. And this is the reason why these platforms are so valuable in the first place, and why people always get so excited about the opportunity to invest in them. And again, if you could just actually issue your own shares as a blockchain-based token and offer it potentially through your own platform, but more importantly to your own stakeholder base, the people who already use your platform, who like it enough to pay you money, the very reason why your company is where it is today, if you can turn those people from stakeholders into shareholders, and you can combine not only the token value that people have today, but also the actual underlying equity value, then I think you have something quite interesting.
And what role do you give special purpose acquisition companies, or SPACs, better known as SPACs? How do SPACs play in all of this? They're seen as the traditional market's answer to an ICO or security token. Are they the reason security tokens haven't quite taken off yet? What's the contrast here?
I think the SPAC trend that we're seeing in traditional capital markets is really, really important, because it just goes to show that the same access benefits that people look for when they buy into an ICO, that same feeling like as a retail investor, I am somehow cut out of the juiciest parts of traditional capital markets. And the fact that people are willing to invest into what is effectively a blind pool of capital, right? Both SPACs and ICOs, I'm effectively investing off a white paper. I don't really know what I'm buying into, but I'm so hungry and desperate to get access to exciting investments that I couldn't before, that I'll use this as the only route. And quite frankly, all of these factors, right? The need for access, and I guess combined with the fact that in the crypto world, I hear a lot of complaining. A lot of people say, well, we can't issue real securities because of regulation or legal reasons. I honestly think all of that is nonsense, and you can issue tokens based on real equity, real shares, and you can do it today.
That is tokenomics at work right there. Henry Chong of Fusang, thanks so much for joining us today.